Okay, welcome folks to the world of spring wheat. Here with me, this will be the last one, like as Brian mentioned earlier. So, wow. Anyway, so my name is Harpinder Randhawa. Some of you who might know me. I'm a spring wheat breeder. I started in 2007, so it's my ninth season. When I started as a soft white spring wheat breeding program. I took over from my predecessor. Actually, Rob took over when my predecessor passed away in 2005. So Rob looked after the program for a couple of years. And over the time, my program kept growing. And I think in 2008, one of the Titkelly breeders retired in Swift Current. So I ended up having a Titkelly breeding program in Lethbridge. And a couple of years ago, another CPS breeder retired in Winnipeg, so I ended up having a CPS breeding program. So hopefully, no more breeders retire, and I'm not going to take more breeding programs. So that's where my story is. So predominantly in soft wheat and CPS breeding, my efforts is mostly in those wheat. Titkelly is about 5%, but even CPS is my major focus since last couple of years. Like to thank Cantara Seed, Alberta Wheat Commission, and Western Grain, part of this CPS breeding program. Cantara Seed and Wheat Commission actually become a unique model for my funding for my program called P4, along with the producer, private company, as well as public dollars. So, so this is a unique model for wheat breeding. This is kind of new in Western Canada. So. Most of the stuff that you will see is all funded through P4 project that we did a couple of years ago. So my breeding program, I broadly three type of objectives. Rob probably covered some of them in the winter wheat, but we, since being a wheat is wheat, most of our objectives are similar. Like they into three broad categories: agronomics, disease resistance, and quality.
Sorry, Harpinder, there's quite a bit of feedback.
Move that way. Got it.
Okay.
Should we start again?
No, don't start again.
Yeah.
Just continue on.
You can have more ice cream for that. So in agronomic, we're looking higher grain yield, then good lodging resistance, good straw strength. Traditionally, we've been breeding for taller height, but I guess over the time it's been changed. So you can see some of the variety will walk through it, move from traditionally tall height into semi-dwarf. So we're looking at semi-dwarf and intermediate type of height in terms of our breeding objectives, straw strength, and range of maturity. Like as you all know, we invest in Canada here. We have a range of maturity that we're looking for. In southern Alberta, we can live with it, like maybe up to 110 days. If you go further north, 90 days probably max. So in order to harvest crop on time, so we look into range of maturity. So try not to be too late, again some of the standard check, but as we chase more yield, so there's two factors that I always look into that. One is the later maturity and one is the taller height. So the height also gives you boost for yield. So those two things people don't want it here, not later maturity, not taller wheat. So we're trying to go back and redesign wheat basically on a semi-dwarf and intermediate height type. So those are my agronomic breeding objectives. But then in terms of diseases, and there are 5 priority 1 diseases in Western Canada. Yellow rust is also known as stripe rust. Some of you guys are all familiar with. Leaf rust and stem rust. Those are 3 rust. Stem rust is most predominantly in Manitoba, and leaf rust tend to be also Manitoba, Saskatchewan, but you can also have in Alberta also. Yellow rust or stripe rust it traditionally been Alberta disease, especially in southern Alberta, but it's been creeping all over the place now. So it's actually, we have a little bit of yellow rust in our spring wheat nursery, but in Edmonton and Lacombe, I got a photo from yesterday, and this morning Dean Spanner sent me some photo. They actually have a more yellow rust than our nursery here in Lethbridge. So you can see it's moved all the way from southern Alberta to all the way to north. And funny thing about it is it's been overwintering for our last couple of years in southern Alberta because we have a milder winter, and even in Lacombe this year it overwintered. So what happened, we all heard about green bridge this morning in the bus when we were talking about it. So the inoculum stray from winter wheat to spring wheat, and It will in the fall. It will go back in the spring wheat, in the fall in winter wheat, and it will overwinter on winter wheat actually. So under the snow, and early spring it will just when the spring, winter wheat come up, the yellow rust starting multiplying it too. In previous years, we generally see yellow rust coming around like a early July or late July, but this year or last couple of years. And even on winter wheat this year, because it overwintered here, so it was there in the first week of June, even in early May in noticeable area. So there's been quite spreading for that one. Another reason to worry about yellow rust is some of these races are adapting to higher temperatures. So like as I mentioned, stem rust and leaf rust are Manitoba and Saskatchewan with warmer temperature, and the Great Plain in United States, that's where it like more. But yellow rust was never big issue in the Midwest or in the Eastern Prairie, but now everywhere in Manitoba, people are tweeting about yellow rust early on, and even Ontario is big time. This year they got lots of yellow rust, and even Saskatchewan. So this is a disease of concern. Is actually creeping into quite a bit acreage in Western Canada, and because of the overwintering and early inoculum presence, as well as the races are adapting to higher temperature. Luckily, we have a new pathologist joined in our team, Reem, back there. So she got a lot of work to do. They help us doing all the screening, all these yellow rust nursery and burnt nursery, they screen in their nursery. So from priority 1 diseases, so we have 3 rust, and then Fusarium head blight, which is also very, very important disease, not just Eastern Prairie, but now also for Alberta. Under irrigation, we noticing quite a bit Fusarium here, and also all the way to central Alberta, like people in Lacombe area and even Edmonton, even we claim Alberta is a Fusarium free, but trust me, it's there. So, but we have to breed for it, especially under irrigation. The timing has to be, most of your farmer, that timing has to be perfect when you don't want to irrigate your crop right at the antithesis time, and then manage your herbicide fungicide application at the same time, so to minimize the damage. So those are the breeding objective for disease resistance. Then the third one is a quality. As we all know, quality Canadian wheat is known for quality, and then all our quality trait is all controlled by Canadian Grain Commission, and they determined all these the strength of different classes. That's why we had different classes based on gluten strength and functionality. Some of the recent changes happening is a emergence of a new class called CNHR, Canadian Northern Hard Red Spring, if I said it correctly. There are so many acronyms now because it's supposed to be mimicking the same as DNS class in North Dakota or Minneapolis or Minnesota down in the States. It's similar in functionality. But what's happening, there's lots of varieties coming from states or even from Europe. They might have a potential here, but which class they fit? So they didn't fit into CPS, they didn't fit into CWRS because of their gluten strength was weaker and protein was lowered. So they created another class now. And so they don't want to have a GP feed, which is a feed wheat. Eventually you want to have a milling wheat. So they created a new class now, which is lower level of gluten strength and a range of protein below CPS and CWRS. So that's where the new class is fitting in. And I'll show you some of these lines. You will see how they fit into different classes. So behind here is all, first row is all my demos. Pretty much is all CPS varieties here and soft wheat on the second strip. Behind is all my A level test, which is or B level test, which is 2 years or 1 year into the co-op registration trial. And back there is my registration trial where all the breeders for CPS co-op, I manage the CPS co-op, so all the breeders who want to have a line registered, they put in that trial. And then we screen, we'll basically grow that trial in about 15 locations in Western Canada, pretty much 5 locations generally per province. And they all go into all disease nursery, leaf rust, stem rust, burnt yellow rust, and Fusarium head blight. So end of the day, we'll get all the data regarding agronomic performance, and then we have a disease data, and then we make a call because we can't test every line that we grow in a co-op. We have 30 lines that we have 4 standard checks we compare against. 3 of them are quality checks, so that we can see what their quality profile is, and then 1 of them is agronomic checks, so to see this agronomic performance. So this performance is tested against those, and then eventually a breeder make all cull some of the lines, and then maybe 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, depending upon the years, they've been discarded, and the rest we submit it to Canadian Dairy Commission, and they do the extensive quality testing. And end of the day, between maybe late January, we got all the quality data from there, and then we prepare all the reports, and then we go to PGDC in February and go to for variety registration people. If there's first year line, that'll make into second year, or second year and third year, and the third year lines that actually went to go to the voting panel or individual disease committee, agronomy committee, and quality committee. And if they all endorse it, they automatically get supported. If not, then they go to culti or voting panel, and they will the breeder will have a chance to make a case, and then they will deliberate on it and make the variety recommend or not recommend. So go from there. So here's some of these variety on CPS program right here. AC Foremost was actually co-developed here between Lethbridge and Swift Country Research Center. This is the most widely grown CPS variety in Alberta. And it's interestingly, this was released in 1994 and still is being grown. Farmer must love it. So, but there are a couple things about this one. This is not going to be CPS variety by 2018. So it's going to be, because its gluten strength is moving into new class, marketing class. So the farmer has to be aware of that. So if they're growing it, so they need to move into new varieties. Otherwise, they will be classified as CNHR, and to avoid any disappointment, they need to be aware of that. You will notice some of these older varieties. I will just pass on. This is a natural infections of yellow rust here. So these older variety would have quite a bit yellow rust symptom on them, and you can have a look at it and pass on to people.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can come close to look at it. And this is Foremost. This is AC Tabor and AC Crystal. They are earlier generation of CPS variety, but they all are very susceptible to yellow rust. This is AC Conquer. Well, we didn't call it a Conquer, but it's a Conquer. It has a major torrent, has very good resistance to yellow rust. But this line is a little bit weaker straw strength, and you can see it's quite good yielder, but it's a bit weaker straw strength. And I think some of these lines might have potential if people are interested in PGR, some of those to control its height and straw strength at the lodging point of view.
Is yellow rust and stripe rust the same?
Same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I can clarify it.
There's some new rust.
No, yellow rust or look orange, so, and it's a stripe rust, because also be a stripe of yellow color. Leaf rust is called brown rust, and stem rust is called black rust. So they all has a color name too, but at the same time, it depends, sometimes people interchangeably use it. So a Glen is a variety from North Dakota. Actually, this is a crossover variety between CPS and CWRS class. This is actually registered as a CWRS. It has an excellent gluten strength, a very stronger gluten strength variety. It's a bit lower yielding, good protein, but it's like a one you're chasing quality or yield. So it's between that. So this has excellent quality. It's been checked in CWRS, all classes, co-op trial, as well as now it's also checked in CPS, because CPS gluten strength is also similar, or as not, it's same as CWRS type. Or even some of the new CPS varieties are even stronger than CWRS, but a bit less protein, like 0.5% or 1% lower protein. 5700, 5701, and SY 985. These are Syngenta varieties. So I have pretty much all of these recent varieties that from everybody to just give you comparison, rather than not just Ag Canada or my varieties here. Enchant is Ag Canada. AC Riley is also from Swift Current, but you can see it's kind of gonna get blasted with the yellow rust soon. So whoever is growing, you have to be careful with that. Crusader is early maturing. So as Enchant. Penhold is a newer one. I think last year or this year it also been grown. I think last year it been with the farmer now. So it's been a couple of years. So 2013 it's been a couple of years. Nice straw strength, very good straw strength, and semi-dwarf, good yielder. Not very high yield, I would say that, because it's very short. But standability wise is excellent. Good disease package, good level of rust resistance, good level of fusarium head blight resistance, and burnt resistance. AC4A is pretty much, I would say, the highest yielding CPS line we have it. It's a major torrent. slightly taller, as you can see, as compared to Penhold. Penhold is really short. But AC4A is also veg-tolerant variety, so this line is actually refuge. They both are marketed by CCAN. So Penhold is a refuge variety in this one. I'm pretty sure most of you guys are aware of Midge stewardship plan, because we only have one gene that we can use to control midge resistance, to incorporate midge resistance, and we don't want to jeopardize our midge resistance gene because if it's, oh really, there's an ice cream truck, I didn't notice it, my goodness. So in order to prolong the life of a major resistance gene, so we have 10% refuge of susceptible variety in every major resistance variety that we release in Western Canada. So this is a refuge variety, very good yielding, highest yielding line we have in CPS. This is tenacious, AAC tenacious. It's a slightly taller as compared to, I guess I would say is the tallest variety in CPS. You can say maybe even taller than Conquer. And also weaker straw length, but it has excellent. This is the only line has a fusarium rating R, so very good fusarium rating. So folks who are concerned about fusarium, and I know Greg has experimented last year with PGR in his farm, and I think it's same this year. It was doing pretty good under PGR, no lodging, and without PGR there was a quite bit contrast you can see from lodging. But if somebody is concerned with fusarium, has excellent disease package and also has a major tolerance, as well as a good leaf rust. You can see all the leaves are clean, no yellow rust, no leaf spot, so look pretty good for that point of view. But slightly taller and weaker straw strength. These are the new, I would say, these all are pretty much brand new CPS. None of the farmer would have those one yet. CDC train and AAC crossfield and AAC entice. These are two are mine, and this is from University of Saskatchewan from Curtis program, and they are pretty similar. They are semi-dwarf type, good straw strength. Their yield level is almost similar, if not higher, almost similar to AC4A. So we're catching up with the 4A, but with shorter height. So as people are preferring more shorter heights.
I hear Crossfield is the best new
There you go.
CPS variety.
Let's say that AC Crossfield. These are all my baby. I have to promote them all, but today I guess maybe Crossfield is the winner. This one came from Swift Current. It doesn't have a name yet. Maybe in a few weeks they will have a name from Richard. This actually line was meant for CWRS. It's a Cadbury and Carberry cross. Oh, Cadillac. I don't know. Rob put a name in my head, Cadbury, because it's Cadillac and Carberry cross, and we're thinking about a name, and he should call it Cadbury. So anyway, so this is the line. It's a CWRS quality, but it couldn't make it there. So it was just, I think, a 3-year. I think Richard was keep pushing and see hopefully will make it, but they didn't. So end up in the CPS now. So last year it got supported as a CPS variety. So this will be in CPS class. This is my 3rd-year line. So excellent yielder, same height as we'll say, good straw strength, semi-dwarf, good disease package, and this also has a midge. None of these new has a midge. This also has a midge tolerant in it. So this is 3rd-year line. So hopefully the quality don't have an issue last 2 years. So hopefully this will move forward this year. Actually next February, this will be 3rd-year line. This 3rd-year line, and hopefully will move forward and then register this line. So keep watching this one, new one. This part of my field is my CPS co-op trials. Like every breeder has their line. So there's 1st-year line, there's 2nd-year line, there's 3rd-year line, and also there are checks in there. There's 4 checks. Most of them are from there. That's who we compare our performance agronomically, disease tolerant, as well as quality. So basically there's 8 ranges, like from here to all the way there. There's 15 in 1st and 15 in 2nd range. So that's the 1st replication, and 2 and 3rd. So those are all the co-op registration trials. So you can see the plant type, you're going to see maturity difference, you will see disease, you will see some yellow rust coming up on those, and eventually we'll test all agronomic performance. And if you look kind of about 8 ranges behind this one, the registration trial is called the CNHR, the new class. You can see but tallish and greenish stuff back there. That's why some European material is also people are introducing, and we have those in our co-op trials. and some of those are in those trials. So we'll test their performance. The biggest concern, as I mentioned earlier, material coming from other places is maturity. They tend to be later maturing, and we had to fit. They have to fit into Canadian growing conditions. So that's the co-op, and we'll move into soft wheat. Gonna have 10 more minutes. Any questions so far to anybody? Or just busy with ice cream truck?
Do you have any
Jeez.
WRS varieties in the
Pardon me?
pipeline?
No, I don't have any CWRS.
Solid stuff, no.
No.
Well, I was just wondering, maybe you accidentally had a good CPS variety that.
I have some, but I won't talk it today. But maybe some other day we can have a private chat. So this part is soft white. So you can see slightly difference in plant type. I won't go too much into detail, but soft white is grown about 1 million acre in Western Canada, predominantly in Saskatchewan, about I would say over 800,000 or 700,000, somewhere over there, and some in Lloydminster area in Alberta, and a little bit in Southern Alberta also. So it traditionally was Southern Alberta type of wheat. They've been grown for cakes and cookies and biscuit type, with a softer kernel, and it's a lower protein and higher starch content. And for that reason, it also fit very well for feedlot people and also fit very well for ethanol industry. So that's why it's been widely grown in Saskatchewan, and this is the only breeding program in Western Canada that we breed, and all our varieties are being grown all over there. AC Andrew is the one was a benchmark yield when it came as compared to AC Reed was earlier. So this was 10% higher yield at that time in 2001 when we came up this line. So semi-dwarf and was bred for Southern Alberta, but it did very well in rest of the prairie under drier conditions. So we didn't have any issue with that, except maybe if you don't want to go too much into fusarium area because they don't have a good fusarium tolerance. These are other traditional soft wheat. This is AC Sadash, named after my predecessor. Well, actually all these names, one that's his wife, and that's his daughter, and that's his son, and then this is him. So we just finish the family, so that's how they all named. So Sadash is taking over, replacing Andrew quite a bit. I think it's about 60-40%. And the newer variety, Chiffon, I will talk, that's also taking over. Chiffon, this is a bit taller variety, but it is the highest yielding out there. We have more in pipeline, but this is Greg has been growing this one, is in marketing by SeedNet. Greg, do you have any comment how your experience with Chiffon so far?
I think on irrigation, a PGR of some sort is nice. If
Yeah.
you're trying to push fertility.
Yeah.
But other than that, just good response this year.
Yeah.
from customers.
Yeah, I think it's gonna replacing quite a bit Andrew's area too. So because it's about 8% higher yielding there, but slightly on the taller end. So if you can manage your straw, you will be happy for that. This is another one, AAC Indus. It's named after a tiny little town near Calgary, Indus Hamlet there, but it's also Indus Valley, Indus civilization from India. So very good straw strength. It's slightly later, just about a couple days later than those, but very good yielded. So it's about 7-8% higher than Andrew and Sadash at the same time, but it's 2 days later, so you can't go too far north with that. This is my new one that got last year spotted and also marketed by CCAN. And this is also 6-7% higher yielding, but the same maturity as Andrew and Sadash. So you can see the maturity difference. Good standability, good straw strength, good rust resistance. As like all my soft wheat, they don't have a lot of fusarium tolerant in the background. So they are like a moderately susceptible range in fusarium, but we're working on it to bring. This line actually has a fusarium parent in it. Try to bring some fusarium, so it's a slight improvement in it. This is my 3rd-year line, and it's about 8% higher than AC Andrews. So good standability, very high yielding, excellent rust resistance. So this is this is a 3rd-year line. So if the quality has no issue, this will go next year. These are general purpose wheat. So I have pretty much like a CPS soft wheat, general purpose, then triticale will be the end. So we are right here. Some of the line does not fit into any of those market milling classes. So what do you do with that? Well, if they have a good yield potential and they have a good adaptation in Western Canada, why not try under for general purpose. But then general purpose is also competing, soft white is competing with general purpose wheat because people like to have a dual market. If they can sell it as a soft white, that's the advantage because you got to get a higher price. But if not, you can still sell as a feed wheat or for ethanol purpose. Minnedosa came from Doug Brown's program. Pasteur came from Europe, as you can see, European plant type, and it's also slightly latish looking, but it's also very good straw strength and good yielder. So it's just a maturity. People are also actually in Manitoba, they're growing quite a bit, and they were using it as some sort of milling wheat back in the south in the states. So I'm not sure. They were trying to get some milling status wheat, and maybe it will fit into CNHR, but not sure. But they are trying to get back into some milling wheat because it's not bad for quality, but it didn't really fit into our system, CWR or CPS at the time. So it might fit into CNHR eventually. AAC Innova, this came 3-4 years ago. It has excellent rust package. These are all general purpose wheat, so non-milling purpose. Good rust resistance, all 3 rust, very clean, short plant type, good standability, not good resistance for fusarium or common bunt, among those the priority 1 diseases, but otherwise pretty good. This is a Proclaim, another GP wheat. It has a MR rating for fusarium head blight. So when we were trying to incorporate fusarium tolerance into our soft wheat, this is the one actually came from AC Reed and FHB 37. That's a donor for fusarium head blight, and it was red seeded but a bit softer and higher proteins. Couldn't fit into any of the soft wheat, but because it's got good level of fusarium resistance, we got it as a general purpose wheat. This is my last general purpose wheat. I guess I call it AAC Awesome. This got released last year. This is a big yield jump in terms of as compared to AC Andrews, 14% yield jump. So this is the next highest bar in Western Canada in terms of grain yield. So this is as a check now in general purpose. Now they changed the name to special purpose. So this is a special purpose wheat. It got good level of resistance to all 3 rust, intermediate resistance to fusarium head blight, and it also has a midge tolerant. And interesting thing, it has about 12% winter wheat blood in it. So those winter wheat folks, that's where the yield bump is coming. So, and this is a sister line. This is also in a co-op trial, 3rd-year line. And this is actually about 1%, slightly higher in yield in terms of grain yield as compared to Awesome. So we'll see if they are very similar. So I may not go forward, but if there's some edges also in the co-op trial, so I may go forward next year. So
is Awesome a GP or a soft?
This is GP, yeah. The green sign is for GPs. No green.
I just heard you compare it to Andrew though.
Oh, because the yield, of course, yeah, sorry. The yield, Andrew is a check also in a GP co-op to compare the yield. So it's 14% higher, 9% higher, what is written there? 9% higher over Pasteur and 12% over Sodash. So that's the yield bump. And it's a significantly difference. Wrapping up here, just I do play a little bit with Triticale. This is actually a small demo trial, and Brian picked me on because I missed his line Sunray here. So I apologize for that. Never thought about it because this is my new line Delight, AAC Delight. This is a reduced on, just similar to Tyndall. It's for mostly for grazing purpose and also for silage for feed industry people. They like to have some sort of reduced on, so that those on, you know, the cow doesn't like too much for those ones. So that's kind of wrap up here. Not going to take too much of your time because ice cream truck is here. But any question, I will happy to answer that.
What kind of ice cream do you like?
What choice do they have? Do they have a mango ice cream?
No cherry.
No cherry? I can live with anything this time of the day.
Thank you, Harpinder.
Yes. You're welcome.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming. It's a pleasure to host farmers and our funding agency. So it's been great.